Everybody in Attack on Titan believes they're right. Both sides look at each other as devils, not because they are, but because they were taught to. A cycle that started long ago before them, passed down from parent to child, till belief turns into identity, and that identity turns into war. They fight to protect their people, to end their cycle. But that's exactly where it begins again, victims of war. If you haven't seen Attack on Titan, there are heavy spoilers ahead. Because what this story really shows is how it can quietly create enemies out of people who all think they're doing the right thing. There is a lot in this story that shows how these characters are pushed into mental torture at a young age. They don't get a childhood, they get war right away. Every one of them grows up surrounded by trauma, forced to mature early, forced to fear anything beyond the walls. Across the sea, it's the same story, but this is where Gabi Brown comes in. She represents what happens when that fear is shaped, when it's given a target. Gabi isn't just a soldier, she's the result of years of indoctrination, taught who the enemy is, taught what a devil looks like long before she even has a chance to question it. And when she killed Sasha Brown in front of her friends inside of the ship when she sneaked in, I say it's okay to feel that anger. We spent 3 seasons with Sasha, we know her, we care about her. But for Gabi in this situation, this was never personal in that sense. This was just a belief, and that moment becomes the beginning of something else. The moment her perspective starts to break. Because once she steps foot on Paradise, she doesn't find any devils or any person she was taught when she was a child that was actually a devil. She finds people. And I am actually glad that Falco never told her anything of her conversation with Reiner and Eren, because this was her moment, her realization, something she had to reach on her own. And it all comes to a head in one scene with the person who would eventually become her friend, Kaya.
一体何の罪を犯しているの？ついこの間だって私の町は蹂躙した。私のお母さんが殺されたのは4年前だから、その罪じゃない。だから先祖が世界中の人を虐殺したから。お母さんは誰も殺してない。ねえミア、ちゃんと答えて。なんでお母さんがあんなに苦しんで殺されたのか、何か理由があるんでしょ。そうじゃなきゃおかしいよ。なんでお母さんは生きたまま体を食べられたの？ねえ、何のために殺されたの？ねえ、なんで？お母さんには何の罪もありません。ごめんなさい。
That argument right there says everything. It exposes Gabi for what she really is, which is not a monster, but just a victim. A child who was taught that the person standing right in front of her was a devil. And for the first time, she literally can't defend it. That hesitation on her face, that silence, that's the moment everything for her starts to fall apart, because Kaya is no different from her. She's the same as her. 2 children forced into a world they did not choose, forced to witness things no one should. And if you put yourself in Gabi's place, you don't become any better, let's be honest. You become her. That's what makes this so uncomfortable, because that realization doesn't fix anything. It is something that unfortunately they have to go through. They have to move forward and live with what they have done. And that's how this cycle unfortunately survives, because now they're not following orders anymore. They're fighting for something they truly believe in, and that's when anything everywhere becomes dangerous. Reiner Brown is also one of the clearest examples of what this war does to a person. Through him, we don't see conflict. We see it consume someone. His trauma isn't loud at first. It kind of builds slowly until he cannot hold it anymore. You can see it in his face, the confusion. There are moments where he forgets who he is, what side he's on, or what his purpose even is to begin with. And then on certain occasions, he would snap. And this is not out of anger, but it is confusion, mental confusion. Like 2 versions of him are fighting for control. One that believes in the mission he was taught before he came to Paradise, and another that knows it's all wrong. Something that tells him what he's doing is definitely not human. And that second side can't stay buried forever. And this is one of the best examples.
おい、なんで。マルコが。
That moment says everything. He watches it happen and still cries out for Marco to be saved. You see as well that it actually makes you believe that he is worried for Marco after he just did that too. And the only reason is because that part of him meant it, even before we knew the truth, because we don't really know that he betrayed him in that exact part of the season. Reiner wasn't actually faking everything. Even the bond he built with Eren Yeager and the others was real, but the mission, that indoctrination, was way stronger than his friendships, stronger than his own sense of self. And that's the real damage this kind of war leaves behind. It doesn't just create enemies out of nowhere, it breaks the people that get caught in between. Or just to put it in better words, the ripple effect, where other people have to suffer based on someone's actions.
ライダー、やるんだ。今ここで。勝負は今ここで決める。
So when Reiner says it, when he actually reveals that they are the armored titan and colossal titan, it doesn't feel like a betrayal at first. Honestly, it feels like a mistake. Like he just said something he wasn't even supposed to say. But for Eren, for everyone, that moment shatters everything that was left. The trust, the identity, that conversation that meant so much to Eren, that conversation that honestly he always keeps rounding back to. The two guys Eren always fought beside, but unfortunately, they were never who he thought they were. And this is where the cycle reaches its worst phase, consequences. Eren Yeager doesn't just react to what happened to him, he just carries it forward. He convinced himself that everyone on the other side has to pay the price. Not just soldiers, everyone. And just like that, the roles reverse. Now it's the family across the sea, the children across the sea, victims of something they never chose. They didn't even know why it was happening, neither did they understand it. They just became collateral damage. And crazy enough, it all circles back to Gabi Brown, because now she's the one watching it happen. What Eren saw when he was a kid, when he saw his mother getting eaten alive, now it's Gabi's turn, unfortunately, to watch her friends die right in front of her, with no explanation nor warning. Like I said, nobody to tell her why. And in that moment, there's just no stopping her, because to her, this shouldn't have happened. But that's the thing about this cycle. Eren lived the same thing. It never stops where it's supposed to. It just keeps moving. And from Eren's perspective, this that he just did right here is just protection. He knows who the enemy is. He knows what has to be done. And in his mind, he is right. Even his friends, as much as they struggle with it, as much as they don't want to accept it, they still follow. Because deep down, they can't fully say he's wrong either. And that's where it becomes impossible to break. Because now, everyone believes they're justified. Everyone thinks they understand the truth. But no one is there to say it, that what they're doing is all wrong. But there's something different about Eren Yeager. He doesn't just experience the cycle, he understands it. Through the power of Attack Titan, through the memories and the paths, he sees where all of this leads. No matter what he does, no matter what he tries to change, it always ends the same way, the rumbling. Because as long as people exist, so will conflict.
なんで母さんはあの日巨人に食われた？
それは俺たちがあの日壁を破壊したからだ。
なぜ壁を破壊した？
混乱に乗じて壁内に侵入し、壁の門の出方を伺うために
その任務とは？
始祖を奪還し世界を救うことだ。
そうか。世界を救うためだったらそれは仕方ないよな。
And in that moment, when he turned to Reiner and asked the questions that's been echoing this entire time, why did my mom have to die? It's not just a question, it's kind of a mirror. Everything Reiner once believed in, everything he justified, is now being reflected right back at him. And there is no clear answer, because what they thought was right, what they believed was good for their people, was never that simple. He was killing his own kind for the sake of their own kind. And that's how powerful this kind of belief becomes, because now Reiner has to live with it. Now in this part, he has to watch his people suffer. In this part, he's reduced to protecting the one person in front of him, Falco, while everything falls apart. And yet, throughout this entire story, there's one line that keeps coming back. We could talk about this. Every conflict, every loss, every war could have been different if they had just talked. But even here, they admit the truth. They still don't even trust each other fully. Some of them still want to kill each other deep down because it's already too late. Not one person in that circle is innocent. Armin burned half of Marley. John pulled the trigger on the Thunder Spear right to Falco without hesitation. Annie literally killed everything in her path in search of Eren. They can all stand on a mountain of corpses and call it necessary, but when they finally face each other in that part, when they finally listen, all that's left is regret. And at the center of all of this is the mission to stop the kid who just wanted to be free in the first place, to see what was beyond the walls. But for Eren, freedom was never real, unfortunately. Even when he tried to change it, even when he showed his friends what was coming, it didn't matter, because every path led back to the same outcome. This cycle that doesn't end. At best, it pauses. And that's what Attack on Titan leaves you with. Not the heroes or villains, just people trying to survive or protect what they believe in while destroying everything else in the process. And when you step back and look at it, it stops feeling like fiction, because the people they're fighting are just like them, human. If you like this video, leave a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss on weekly uploads of this beautiful journey of character storytelling.